All right, so big announcement here. We've just literally 14 minutes ago signed our 5-year extension to stay in Aspen for another 5 years. Yeah, I think I was, from my perspective, anyways, pretty crazy. 18 years. I was curious. I don't think any of you know X Games outside of X Games at Buttermilk, at least in the U.S., right? Any Mount Snow? Yeah. That's pretty wild. It's crazy. I feel my age too. And I was looking up some other things, and I was like, yeah, 2002, no YouTube, no Facebook, no smartphones. What were we doing? Were we texting? I don't know. We were faxing each other stuff. But again, I think what this does is just further solidify Aspen as the home of the X Games, at least from the winter side. I think this, in partnership with John and ASC, this event requires a ton of coordination between the staffs, our teams, working with the athletes. There's just so many parts and pieces that go into making this happen. And I think at the end of the day, all of us who are involved with this, and that's why it makes it easy, we were just talking about, all of us bring a ton of passion. We bring a ton of love to what we do. And I think at the end of the day, we just want to deliver a world-class experience to all of us here. So I was thinking back on some of my memories from 18 years. And I started as an intern 20 years ago on the X Games. And I've probably done most jobs. I've dyed the pipe. I've written formats, rules, all kinds of different things. But I've also had the pleasure of hiking Highlands Bowl, snowmobiling Independence Pass, golfing, fishing, biking. So Aspen is truly a special place to me, and I think a lot of our team. I think probably the most special is we've been able to develop a really strong partnership with ASC, and I think that's truly what makes it really, really special. And so again, at the end of the day, I feel like we're really aligned. We all want to produce, at the end of the day, a really special event for everyone that's involved here. So again, thanks to ASC and everything that you guys do for this partnership. Cool. So personally, anyways, I have so much gratitude to get to work on the X Games. I feel like really fortunate that I've been able to come to here for this many years, and the fact we get to have 5 more years again, I just feel so fortunate, and I'm looking forward to those 5 years. And last but not least, just a big thanks to all the athletes who can, give them a big shout out. We do this all for you. We're just thankful we get to work on these things, and clearly, like, the more we can do of these, the better, as far as I'm concerned. And we thank you for everything you do in supporting our event for the past, this will be total 23, right? 23. So here we go. More we go. But thank you again. I'm going to turn it over to John now at this point to say a couple words. But big thanks, and we're so stoked, and enjoy the weekend, and we can't wait for it.
Yeah, Tim. Thank you, Tim. And on behalf of Aspen Snowmass and our community, it's humbling to play host to what I really believe is the best winter sports event on the planet. And we've been doing it for a really long time. To play host and to work with you amazing athletes and see your story come to life here and then all over the globe. And it's also amazing to work with the staff at ESPN. The continuity year in and year out is amazing. They get it. They truly look at it from every angle. They desire to please not only the athletes, of course, but the television viewers, the on-site spectators. Heck, we've got skiers and riders on the hill during the event, and they do their best to make it an awesome experience right down to the spectators. Great pros. The only negative is they bring several hundred Patriots fans to town every year. And it's troubling, it's troubling, but we get through that. I'm proud to work in concert with my colleagues at Aspen Skiing Company to help show off Aspen Snowmass in all its glory to the world. And that's, of course, everyone that works here at Buttermilk because they feel the greatest impact. But people up and down the company work over here. Our events team plays a big role. Our Parks and Pipes crew, Travis Benson, Buck Erickson, phenomenal job. So props to them. And then I would say I'm very appreciative because this is a community event. Our opportunity to work in concert with the City of Aspen, the Chamber of Commerce, Snowmass Tourism, RAFTA, Pitkin County, the list goes on and on. We're all in this together, and everyone takes a really collaborative approach to it, and that's special. That's it's a treat. So anyway, I finished with I'm psyched, and heck, cheers to 5 more years.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it. So now we get to the fun stuff, and without further ado, I'm going to introduce our host for the press conference, also our beloved host for X Games, the very talented and friendly Jack Matrani.
Thanks, Danny. Thanks, Tim. Thanks, everybody, for coming out and helping amplify all these amazing stories and athletes and the things that we love most. Without you guys, nobody really knows what's going on. So thank you. John, that was a beautiful speech. When I need a best man, I'm hoping you'd come out and maybe speak for me. I just got the chills. I'm so inspired. How's everybody doing out there? Woo! Press conference. Let's do this. So the way we're going to do this is more of like a panel. So I'm going to go through, introduce everybody, ask a question. If you guys have any questions, feel free to raise your hand and jump in. And without further ado, we're going to start with the local boy, the hero, Alex Ferreira. Ladies and gentlemen, make some noise for Alex Ferreira. So this Aspen native took ski superpipe silver at X Games Aspen last year, and again at the Winter Olympics in Pyeongchang just weeks after, made an appearance on Dr. Oz, was a guest at an Oscar party with Elton John. The list goes on and on. 4 gold medals and 7 appearances. Ferreira has a history of stepping up at the X Games. I know you're going to step up this year for sure because you're drinking green juice right there. I can see it. So question, as a local hometown hero, what would it mean to win X Games gold in front of your hometown crowd? It's been 9 years since Aspen native won in Aspen. What would it mean?
Well, Jack, thank you for that heroic introduction. I really appreciate that. That was very kind. To bring home gold, I think in Aspen, Colorado, being from Aspen would be unbelievable. Truly euphoric. And to give that back to the people and to the city of Aspen, put on a great show, I could not ask for anything more. So I just want to go out there, ski my best, and we'll see what happens.
Is it easier or harder being in front of the home crowd? I know you got like 50 friends flying in from all over cheering for you. Does that help or does it make it harder?
Yeah, it makes it harder when they're texting me what the schedule is. Yeah. When they can just look online. Everyone's got a phone these days. No, it's amazing. Everyone brings an unbelievable amount of support, and I'm just extremely grateful and thankful that they come out and they want to support our sport. It's pretty cool.
I love it. Well, good luck to you. I know you're going to kill it in front of all your friends and fam. On Alex's left, we have Jamie Anderson. Ladies and gentlemen, has pretty much won every single accolade in the world, including she's the most decorated rider in X Games slopestyle history. She boasts 14 X Games medals, including 5 gold. No big deal. Border cross, too. I mean, that's insane. She won gold in snowboard slopestyle Olympic debut 2014 and successfully defended her title in 2018. Named 30 under 30 on 2015 Forbes Sports. That's awesome. And won an ESPY Award for Best Female Olympian in 2014. My question is, you stepped up last year with consistent and legit double corks in women's slopestyle. What are your thoughts on the insane progression in women's slopestyle right now and snowboarding in general?
Thanks, Jack. Gosh, right now has been such an inspiring time in women's snowboarding. Definitely in the pipe, Chloe, and in the park, it's been crazy. So many new tricks, and yeah, I'm excited. I think the course is really fun this year, and hopefully I'll be able to link some new runs, and yeah, stoked to be here.
When you saw Anna Gasser land a triple, did it kind of like, give you little butterflies, a little fire to like try a triple? Do you think triples are the future of women's snowboarding right now, or what?
I guess so. I was definitely a little bit like, oh my goodness, I couldn't believe it. But I really impressed with her. She's been pushing the sport consistently for the last few years, and she's for sure the reason I stepped up to do more things I was afraid of. So it's cool to have all these like powerful women inspiring me, because back then I was like, I'm never doing a double cork.
I never wanted to try one either.
Who knows what the future holds. Hopefully not triples for me, but I'm gonna see what I can work with.
Well, I can't wait to watch you ride. Speaking of powerful women, Chloe Kim. Make some noise for Chloe Kim. I mean, the fact that she won 3 ESPYs, one being the best female athlete in the world, is pretty astonishing. Never in my wildest dreams would I ever think that a snowboarder would become the best female athlete. So, round of applause for that, Chloe. So, with you dominating the women's halfpipe consistently, what pushes you to keep progressing?
Jack, you make me sound so cool. Thank you.
You are so
my
cool.
God.
It's insane.
No, I just love learning new tricks, especially like this past summer. I really learned a lot of tricks I wanted to. So I think it's all about progressing the sport. It's really important, and also just pushing myself and see what I can do, how far I can go, and yeah, hopefully put some fun runs down out here.
And everybody, including myself, is dying to know, will we see the double cork?
Maybe.
Yes. Well, hopefully. We'll have to wait and find out. We also have Cassie Sharp. Ladies and gentlemen, make some noise for Cassie Sharp. The reigning Olympic champion in women's ski halfpipe has also taken home gold in Oslo 2016 and a bronze last year here in Aspen. She announced her arrival as a major podium threat in 2015 when she won silver at the 2015 World Championships. She has a really cool brother named Darcy. I wish he was in here as well, but he'll be out there on the slopestyle course. Cassie, question. You won nearly every competition last year except X Games Aspen. Are you hungry to win it this year?
Thanks for the reminder.
Who put this on the teleprompter?
X Games Aspen just seems to be a challenge for me. I can't land on my feet barely ever. I wasn't that stoked on my bronze last year. Not that I wasn't stoked to podium, but I wasn't stoked on my riding. So I think I'm coming out really prepared this year, and it's my 4th time here. People say 3rd time's the charm, but I think it's 4th, so we'll see.
Do you have a humidifier in your room? Because sometimes that really helps me in the morning because it's really dry.
Yeah.
You do? Okay.
Yeah, I do.
Okay, just making
it's
sure.
It's actually Darcy that was like, turn that on. I was like, okay, sorry.
Crank it, 10 of them. Mark McMorris. Mark, is that how you say it? Mark McMorris. Ladies and gentlemen, Mark McMorris. No stranger here. One of snowboarding's leading men since taking double gold at X Games Aspen 2012. Repeated the feat in 2015, becoming the 2nd snowboarder in history to take double gold at a single event twice. Has earned medals in an incredible 15 of 19 X Games starts. I mean, 15 medals. Round of applause for Sparky. He also has a video game. I mean, that says enough. You got a video game about yourself? That says enough. Question for you, Sparky. You're competing in 3 disciplines this year. What do you think it's going to take to become just the 3rd person to win 3 medals at the same event in X Games history?
It's definitely going to take a lot of good rest, schedule planning, healthy meals, morning talks from Jack. No, I don't know. I'm just glad to be snowboarding, want to snowboard a lot. I had some metal taken out of my leg a month and a half ago, so this is like my 3rd day boarding, and really happy to be doing it again. And I'm kind of up in the air on the big air and knuckle huck, but I'll probably do it, but for sure slope. Yeah.
Why? What's holding you back from knuckle huck? Because I'm really, really gunning to see
We haven't got enough training time in, dude.
Okay, that's totally fair.
Simple.
That's totally fair. Scotty James, the boxer, the Australian. He earned bronze at the Pyeongchang Winter Olympics. He earned his first Superpipe gold at X Games Aspen 2017. He put down the most insane run I've ever seen in my entire life last year, posted a 98, and still got a silver. So that was insane. Scotty, first off, round of applause for Scotty. My question for you, this is a personal question, is are you upset that Ayumu's not here, who won last year? Or is this like a blessing in disguise? How are you feeling about Ayumu not being here?
Honestly, yeah, last year was crazy. I mean, getting 98 and getting 2nd. People asked me while I was smiling at the top, and that was seriously just a smile in defeat, because I was like, holy shit, like, how am I going to beat that? I just couldn't. So I just enjoyed the moment here in Aspen, the atmosphere, everything that was happening. But no, I am a little sad Ayumu's not here. It would be nice to go head-to-head with him again. He's an amazing snowboarder, and I think for most people that would probably agree with me here, is you want to go out there and you want to compete with the best and do your best and kind of have no excuse if you're standing on top. So I believe he's out skateboarding, doing his thing, and I think Sean's doing the same thing. So I'm sure they'll be back though, and I'm excited for that day. So should be sweet.
You pulling out the red boxing gloves this year?
Let me see here.
Nice.
Yes.
It's fighting season. We also have Rob Adelberg, one of our summer athletes who proved himself to be a winter athlete last year. Had never ridden a snow bike on an actual snow prior to January of last year, but has years of top-level freestyle motocross experience and took to the snow easily. He's a 7-time Summer X Games medalist, added to his collection last year when he took home the first ever X Games Aspen Snowbike Best Trick gold medal. Were you even planning on competing last year? Like, I heard rumors Jackson Strong was like, you should come. It's awesome. Aspen's great. The belly up. There's great food.
Yeah, so Jacko pretty much talked me into it. And, yeah, I hadn't seen the snow for a while. I come over here in January, rode the bike in California on the dirt. And then I know I'd committed to it. I knew I could do the trick. I just had to learn how to ride on the snow. And, yeah, I learned how to ride pretty good on the snow and took home the gold. So it was all worth it.
And since last year was the first year, what are you thinking for year number 2?
It's progression. So basically, I'm doing a similar trick, but I'm just going to execute it better and get a bit more extension. And hopefully some of the other guys can bring some more flip tricks in.
How did Jackson feel when you took gold last year after he invited you out to come?
Well, this year he didn't really want to train with me before coming here. But he gave me the last-minute call 2 days ago and said we can ride together tomorrow. So,
all right.
Yeah, he'll have me back. And I don't know, if he beat me this year, it's all good. If we were 1 and 2, either way, I'd be happy, you know, if I can just do my best and everyone else can do their best.
Looking forward to that battle for sure. Rob Adelberg, everybody. And then the man at the top who makes this all happen, Tim Reed, VP of X Games. You just heard from him. He oversees creative development and day-to-day operation of X Games franchise, led development and integration of youth lifestyle elements in music. Little known fact, but in addition to being an avid snowboarder, Tim played football and basketball at Yale. He's truly an X Games lifer. As you can see, he's always smiling. One of the best people on planet Earth. Tim, with media consumption habits changing so rapidly, how important is digital and social content to the action sports industry, and how has X Games evolved to meet that demand?
Wow, that is such a boring question.
Grace, what is this?
Sorry, Grace. After listening to this whole panel, I'm like, what am I doing up here?
Tim, how was your trip to China, dude?
China was great, Jack. What did you think?
Yeah, I thought that was awesome. We had a press conference in China that was just unbelievable. So judging by the press conference, I know that the 2 events in 2019 are going to be insane. Give it up for X Games China and the whole squad that's out here right now. They had like a whole live painting experience. It was just unbelievable. Back to you, Tim. So Tim, with the evolving demand of media, how does it play?
I'm just going to say this. I'm thankful that you and I get to work on a production that gets to highlight all of these amazing talents and athletes up here. So digital, social media, all that content is so valuable, and I think these guys are all and gals are all at the forefront of it. I think everyone knows it's a big part of kind of what everyone does day in and day out, and I think we as the X Games also have the benefit of 15 hours plus on ESPN and ABC. So when you combo all of that reach, social, digital, TV, I think that's what, part of what makes X Games so big, so special, and I think at the end of the day, a really great platform to showcase these amazing talents.
That is the truth for sure. Social media, I mean, what's your thoughts on the 10-year challenge right now, Tim? You post a 10-year challenge. I saw Chloe's the other day. It's just insane to see the teenagers posting the 10-year challenge. It's all baby photos, and you're just like, okay, I'm old. That did it.
I rely on my 9-year-old to show me trends.
Exactly. Well, without further ado, I'd love to open it up if anybody has any questions for these amazing athletes, Tim, myself.
Just talk about keeping X Games here in Aspen. You live like 5 minutes away from here, so obviously this is a big deal for you. Just talk about, keeping it so close to home.
growing up with X Games just down the road and like skipping school to go watch all the guys and girls compete, it was always such an inspiration. And being able to do it now is like, I can't even believe it. So the fact that it gets to continue on in Aspen and kids continue to sneak out of school like me, I think that's phenomenal. They need to get out there. It's so inspirational. And I don't know, X Games and Aspen, Ski Co just have such a phenomenal bond with each other. And, there's really no other place to do it. It's the perfect venue.
Anybody else? I agree with that, by the way. Anybody else? Questions? Huh? What's that? I think I was supposed to say more stuff. This is awkward. Oh, yeah. Jack moves on to pre-selected topics. Let's talk about the Aspen extension here. Thank you, guys. You literally just asked the same question, but we'll ask it to everybody else. What does 5 more years of X Games in Aspen mean to you guys?
All right,
Chloe, take it away, Chloe. What does it mean to you?
It means a lot. My first X Games was 5 years ago when I was 13. So, yeah, it's crazy. So, pretty stoked that it's going to stick around here in Aspen for 5 more years. I love it here. I went and got breakfast at Starbucks this morning. It's just across the street. It was really nice.
It's a very nice Starbucks, though. To back up Chloe, it's a very nice Starbucks. I was actually standing out there this morning, and this woman's like, "Do you know where the Starbucks is?" I'm like, "It's right there." Sparky, are you excited for the next 5 years here?
I'm very excited. There are fabulous restaurants in town. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Great bars when you become of age. Anyways.
Chloe, what's your Starbucks order?
Okay, wait. In my defense, I was stuck in the middle of a mountain in Switzerland for 2 weeks, so I didn't get to go to Starbucks for like a month.
What do you order at Starbucks? Because I'm going to get it.
Tall, grande.
Orange mocha frappuccino.
What did I get? Grande vanilla cream cold brew.
That's it. You want to learn double corks? That's the order right there.
And I ate something. Yeah, I had the Gouda sandwich.
The Gouda? Was
with
it good?
Bacon.
Was it Gouda?
It was okay, but like Starbucks, I was into it.
Jamie, what's your favorite part about coming to Aspen? You've been coming here for years.
Oh gosh, yeah. I have a lot of memories from this town. Everything. I think it's a great hub to host the event. It has obviously like everything right in front of you. I love the Rockies. I like all the Aspens. Like Mark said, there's so much bomb food in this town, and yeah, it's a great place to be.
Anybody else? Scotty, why do you love coming back to Aspen so much?
There's a hell of a lot of Australians here.
Yeah, there is.
So that makes it nice when the competition comes around. I'll add on to Mark's note, there are some nice cafes for food in the morning, good coffee, and...
Mark, I'm just getting roasted out here.
No, I think it's a pretty awesome spot. For me personally, I really enjoy being up there, and under the lights it's pretty special, and there's always a really good crowd up there, and everyone gets really excited, and it gets us excited as well. And I've obviously been watching X Games for a really long time, and I used to come here and watch when I was younger, and now I'm really stoked to be a part of it. So another 5 years here is going to be exciting, and yeah, be awesome.
What about you, Rob? I know you're more familiar with the summer terrain. What was it like last year showing up to the winter? How are you liking the cold, the altitude? What's it like through your eyes?
Just to see the snow for me is a good thing.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I don't know. It's a long way from home for me, so just traveling out. Rockstar hooked me up with a nice place in town, so yeah, the hotel we got. I don't know. The whole atmosphere about this is something really different, and I'd be stoked to come back the next 5 years.
Same here. So with X Games expanding to include more international events around the world and offering more content throughout the year, from your view, how do you see X Games affecting your sports and the action sports industry at large? What do you guys think of this international expansion? Ferreira?
Yeah, I think you just see a lot of growth and a lot of growth in our sports, which is awesome. Kids will continue to grow up, and they want to continue to do snow sports things, and I think it's phenomenal.
What was your reaction when you saw X Games was going to China?
It's awesome. I love China. China's great.
I hear they have Starbucks there too. So Chloe, you're going to be all good. Don't worry. Anybody else about the international expansion?
I'll add to it. I like personally, just from experience recently in the past couple of years, and fortunately doing well at X Games. It is an event in Australia that people do really tune into. So I think it's amazing that it's growing, and yeah, I mean, to go to China and compete there as well is really cool. And honestly, I don't think we have that many events during the year, so to get another one that's going to be X Games and the exposure that it kind of brings to our sport on a global scale is awesome, and we're always kind of wanting that to achieve that in our riding and things like that. And so I think it'll be really cool, and I'm stoked that it's happening.
Couldn't agree more.
Let's get a Winter X Games in Australia, though. How do we make that happen?
There you go.
We have mountains too, I swear.
I'm also hearing rumors of maybe a Canadian extension.
Look at Tim. Don't look at me.
Very vague rumors, but I would be hyped on that. Getting more Canadians into slopestyle and half pipe, ski, snowboard, doesn't matter, but having it somewhere where it gets Canada involved would fire me up.
Definitely. Canada has such a deep roots in action sports, so I agree. It would be awesome to go there. What was your first or earliest memories about X Games? We're going to start with you, Tim. First or earliest X Games? Your memory.
Well, they started in my hometown, Newport, Rhode Island. So,
95, right?
Yep, 95. And I went as a spectator just to see what it was. I grew up, it's a little bit of a surf skate community there. So yeah, having this weird thing in your backyard was really interesting. But then, from there, it just evolved to where we're at now. So yeah, it's probably my other memory is like moving tons of water all over the venue to, registering. My other first job was athlete registration. So back then we took Polaroids.
Wow, that's insane. What made it so interesting? Was it the sky surfing or the freestyle bungee jumping or the shovel racing? Or
I would say back then it was, I'm trying to think of the most obscure thing. The bungee jumping was up there, though.
Freestyle bungee. Are we going to bring it back? Everyone's asking for it.
Yeah.
Freestyle bungee jumping, X Games China 2019. Maybe. Let's talk about the progression of women's snowboarding. With both women's snowboard slopestyle and pipe progressing so quickly, do you see the women catching up to difficulty of the men's tricks? I think that's aimed towards you, Chloe.
Yeah, I think so. I feel like we're getting pretty damn close. I mean,
definitely.
I learned some guy tricks, people would say, but I mean, I'm so stoked on how fast our sports are progressing. Like, I feel like the past 2 years have just been insane. Like, all girls know how to do doubles now over in slope. Like, girls in pipe are starting to learn doubles. Like, it's going to be pretty crazy these next couple of years, and to be a part of that progression is just so amazing.
Make some noise for the women's progression in action sports, honestly. It's like, it has come so far, and thanks for being the pioneers of it. Jamie, what do you think on the slopestyle, big air side of things?
Yeah, I think it's been really fun and crazy to watch the last few years. A little bit intimidating at times, but like really empowering. Girls are definitely doing tricks that guys were doing, maybe 5 years ago. So it's really cool to see that shift, and like who knows what the next couple years, especially with Anna doing triple, Chloe doing her back-to-back tens. Like, I think it could definitely. Hopefully the guys max out at some point, because I don't know how much more like room there is.
Well, that's a great question, Mark. Do you think it's the guy's going to max out, Scotty? You guys going to max this thing out? Or are you just going to go like
I always think
tuple?
it's maxed out like every year. I thought it was maxed out in 2011, and then here we are.
Well, where does the progression go on the men's side? Is it more style, more creativity? Is it more flips and spins?
I think the progression lies a lot in the park builders' hands, building creative features and creative courses to differentiate yourself without just adding another 180 or flip or whatever. So they're getting it, and yeah, obviously if you want more flips in rotation, you have to build the jumps bigger. But I think they need to just get more creative rather than larger the scale, because it's pretty friggin' dangerous.
For sure, and there's also progression in fashion. Big shout out to the blue suit. I mean, ladies and gentlemen, make some noise for this beautiful statement piece by A.K.
Part of the
Burton.
Blue Man Group, but they let me out of Vegas for the weekend.
Okay, now on my sheet, I'm allowed to open it up for some questions. Does anybody have any questions? Any questions here? Literally anything. We know what coffee Chloe's drinking. Got one over here.
Hi, athletes. Last year, the X Games were right before the Olympics, which happens every 4 years. I'm wondering if it's maybe a more relaxed atmosphere this year because there's not as much at stake. Or maybe there's a lot at stake, but you don't feel as much pressure.
For me, I came into this event knowing that it didn't count for the Olympics, so it was kind of just a fun event for me. But after I got third, I was pretty bummed. And one of my teammates came up to me and he's just like, you know what? Get third this one, win the next one. So it was kind of a fun way to fire me up for the Olympics.
I think it's nice not having the Olympics. I feel like everyone's more relaxed. It's fun. There's good snow. The park is good. And yeah, and that kind of sucks. Everyone's like probably pretty excited there's no Olympics. But brings a lot of stress. And I think everyone like at the core of why we started is like the fun and just getting out there and yeah, cruising with your friends.
Yeah, I think last year, I mean, I was pretty nervous because the last thing I wanted to do was hurt myself before the Olympics. So, like, you know, the whole season before, I was just, like, trying to keep it really safe. So then I think this year I'm like, all right, well, now I don't really have to worry about that. So, full send.
Well, you proved that true after the Olympics. You went and learned a double cork. I mean, that was insane. And Anna's triple came after the Olympics, too. So it was cool to just see after the Olympics, everyone's like, we're not just doing this for the Olympics. We're doing it because the sport's bigger than that. That's cool. Any other questions?
This is for Chloe. There's a couple of big names missing from your competition this year, and Kelly and Elena. They seem to be moving on to different things. Just what's it going to be like without them? And just talk about maybe their influence on your career and what they've meant to you.
I'm going to miss them so much. I just feel like it's going to be so weird not having them around. Like, I don't even know. I met Kelly when I was 8 years old, and I always just had her around. Like, every contest I went to, she was there, and I would always go to her for, like, support, advice, and yeah, it's definitely going to be kind of weird, but I'm really excited for them. I mean, Kelly's been riding a lot of POW, and I'm like super jealous. She looks like she's having the time of her life. So I'm stoked that they're doing things they're passionate about and moving forward. But yeah, I looked up to both of them my whole life. Like Kelly, I remember watching like on TV all the time and just being so stoked when she dropped in. Elena as well, and yeah, I'm really stoked for them.
Are we allowed to talk about Kelly's surprise on Sunday or Saturday, is it? Or is it secret?
Saturday.
Good surprise,
Saturday.
Jack.
It's a surprise.
Nice job.
You're definitely going to want to come on Saturday. That's all I got to say. Any other questions? Okay, perfect. Well, before we close out, I just want to throw out a couple more things for you guys to be aware of throughout the weekend. Kids Day is on Friday. All the students who have gone through the Shred Hate program at the surrounding schools will be here running around. They're so incredibly stoked. We got Women's Day presented by Bumble on Saturday, a film series in the Diamond Club Thursday, which is by the Geico Music Stage. X Games Extra on @X Games social media following each nights of the comps. That'll be fun. I guarantee these guys will be on it. YouTube.com/X Games. I'll be on there. And then also the Zoom photography competition, which is a competition celebrating the best photography in action sports. The winner gets $10,000 and a gold medal. So a lot of things happening here. Again, huge shout out to all the athletes, to Tim, to you guys for showcasing all these stories. Thank you so much for everything that you do. And you guys can break off and do one-on-one interviews. And that's a wrap. Let's have a great weekend.